Okay, we will go ahead and get started with this week's webinar. So I'll have my camera on for a minute just to introduce myself again for anyone that I haven't met. I am Brianne, a member of the Willits Customer Success team. And on the call today, we also have a couple other members of our team. We have Amy Seitz, Miranda Forbes, and also Erin Newton is here. So our team is really excited to present this new webinar series. If you were here last week, you may have heard our little spiel, but I'll just go ahead and sort of give this introduction as this is a new process, new series that we're doing where we're going to discuss new and exciting features of PUPS. And over the next several weeks, we'll focus on some basics, which we're continuing today, some sort of foundational basics of PUPS. So it would be great for new staff or those who need a refresher. So feel free to share these details with your team and encourage them to get registered for upcoming webinars. Before we get started with today's topic, I wanted to point out something which I did also mention last week, but if you weren't here, I wanted to make sure and make it clear that what we demo today will be in the most recent version of PUPS, which we call PUPS 2.0. So if what you see today is something that you don't have access to in your PUPS system, it may be because of the version that you're using. And if you have any questions about that, or you're interested in learning more about PUPS 2.0, feel free to let us know. We can meet with you separately and discuss that as well. And if you should have any questions during the presentation, you can enter them into the Q&A at the bottom of your screen, and one of our team members can provide the answer as we go. So with that, I'll go ahead and turn off my camera and we will start the presentation. So our topic for today is PUPS Learn. So the Learn database within PUPS is a helpful resource for employee training as well as a PUPS software knowledge base that contains how-to videos and instructional documents. To get there, from the dashboard, click on your name in the upper right-hand corner and select PUPS Learn. This first screen will display some options that are driven by your permissions. All users with access to PUPS Learn will see the catalog, and they'll also have the option to run their own transcript, which is where you'll be able to view a list of the completed trainings that you've taken. Only users with permission to access reports will see this option, and that would include potentially HR, staff development, management, etc. Those users will be able to run reports on a broader scale for their location. So let's dive right in and take a look at the catalog to see some of the training options. In the catalog, all users are going to see a few categories, and then the rest are available to be customized for your particular needs. So for example, all users will see popular trainings at the top, which PUPS is going to bring to the top the most popular, the most clicked on trainings at your location. You also have the option to create a required trainings bucket for your staff in case there are particular trainings that they're required to take that you want to draw their attention to. For PUPS, we also do have a catalog for recorded webinars. So the webinar from last week and this one and all future webinars are going to be recorded and they'll be placed in this catalog so that you or your team can reference them at a later date. And then finally, all users will see a PUPS tutorials catalog, which we'll look at in a little more detail in a moment. Now, the rest of these categories, these are some samples like compliance and quality, clinical trainings, all staff, etc. These are customizable for the needs of your program. They can be used to hold employee training resources. These can be things like videos or documents. For instance, if we click on the clinical trainings resource catalog, we'll see that we have a few options here. This training is viewable as a document, meaning the user would click on this and download or view that document, whether it's a PDF, it can be a PowerPoint presentation or a Word document, something that you want to draw your employees' attention to for them to read. We can also place videos in here. So if you've recorded a training session or you have some other sort of instructional or training video, they can click this button and view that training right here in the PUPS screen. You can also create multiple choice quizzes to test your employees' understanding of the source material. The quizzes look something like this: questions and multiple choice answers, and based on the employee's selection, they will get a score. They may be prompted to correct anything that they missed, or they may have the option to retake it, or you may want to see these wrong answers so that you can address those with quality improvement. So these quizzes are a great way to test employees' understanding of the source material. The scores on these quizzes will then be compiled in the employee's transcript, which we saw at the first when we took a look up here at the PUPS Learn page. So that quiz that I just took will now be part of my transcript, and my HR staff, my training manager can view a report of that material. In addition to the employee training resources, if we go back to the catalog, all PUPS 2.0 users will have access to a catalog of PUPS tutorials. Right now, I'm looking at our sandbox list of tutorials, but your instance of PUPS is going to have resources that are specifically tailored to the features that you use in PUPS, such as, in this case, the scheduler or the patient portal. The list will include both instructional videos and downloadable how-to documents, depending on what the button says here. That will alert your users, your staff, to know what sort of resource they will be viewing. Some of these resources may also include a quiz. Just like the employee trainings, we can create a quiz for the PUPS resources as well, which is not required but can be utilized to demonstrate proficiency in that feature. Once you take a quiz for a training resource, you will have the option to download your certificate, which is a PDF certificate showing that you have successfully completed that training. And it will look something like this. It'll have your name. It'll say the name of the training or quiz that you passed and when it was passed. Most importantly, the PUPS tutorials is an important knowledge base to empower PUPS users. So we keep this up to date. We add new resources all the time, and we update them as things change, as you get new features built, and things like that. So keep an eye on the PUPS tutorials catalog in PUPS Learn, and I think you and your staff, your team members, will find a lot of really valuable resources. It's a great place for that first stop when you have questions. If you are more of a, you want to see a visual, like step-by-step on how to do something, those videos can be really helpful. But if you're the kind that just likes to have something on hand, you can pull up on your computer or have on paper to read the steps. We have documents in a lot of these resources as well, which are really helpful. So we try to cater to both of those sort of learning styles with the PUPS tutorials. So that is really a pretty quick overview of PUPS Learn. There is a lot more to this feature, which we would love to be able to chat with you about. If this is something that you don't currently use, you have access to, but you don't currently take advantage of, say, customizable employee training catalog, we would love to be able to talk with you about how to build that out for your program. There's a lot of really great reports that you can run to make sure that your employees are completing trainings that they need, that they're proficient in the tasks that they need to complete in PUPS, etc. So if you use PUPS 2.0, we do encourage you to check out this section, familiarize yourself with it. You can click into it now, click on those trainings if there's any you haven't seen before, or maybe new ones that you haven't had a chance to look at. Do go ahead and poke around in there. We also encourage you, again, to reach out to us if you would like to explore utilizing PUPS Learn for your own employee trainings. And we would love the opportunity to work with you to utilize the Learn database. Are there any questions about that? Our team is here. You can feel free to pop your questions down into Q&A. I didn't go into a lot of detail about the reporting side of that, which we definitely can do if anyone has specific questions about that. But mostly we just wanted to give you guys an overview, an introduction to this feature, again, as sort of building your foundation of PUPS. So our team is here and we can hang on to answer questions or discuss in more detail anything we covered today or also any other PUPS topic. While we're here, we would love to chat with you about anything else related to PUPS. Otherwise, if you don't have questions, you are free to go. I know this was a quick one today. Hopefully we'll see you on the next webinar. Next week, we will be discussing general PUPS navigation. So I think I said last week that that was what we were going to talk about this week. So I apologize if anyone came on here looking for that one, but we will be discussing that next week. General PUPS navigation, which is going to involve the dashboard, the navigation menu. We'll find some hidden gems for you on the next webinar. So please pass along to your staff that would benefit. They will be receiving the registration email, and they can also register for the webinar series from the PUPS dashboard now. So thank you all so much for joining. I see that we have some questions coming in. Amy's chatting about batch printing certificates. So that's a really great question. We will, I know that that was something in our development queue, so we can get some more information for you, Catherine, about batch printing certificates. Great question. If there's anyone else on here that has also wondered about that. Well, thank you all again for joining. We'll hang on for a couple more minutes. Feel free to pop your questions in there. Otherwise, we hope you have a wonderful Wednesday, and we will see you next week.
Hello, everybody. This is an addendum to the PUPS webinar on the PUPS Learn database. Based on a really great question that we received during the presentation, I wanted to do a really quick demonstration and show you how you can batch print training certificates. So if you have the permission to run reports in PUPS Learn, for instance, if you're a manager, an HR supervisor, a training leader, something like that, and you see this reports feature in PUPS Learn, you can batch print certificates for a number of employees at your location. If we click on the reports tab, we're going to see some report options. For this demonstration, we're going to click on the training report for the facility. We're going to choose our facility, and we're going to click the filter button to apply the filter. And here we will see a list of the users from that facility who have completed trainings. You'll notice over on the right that I can print their certificates one by one if necessary, or if I click the orange Print All button here at the top, I can generate a PDF that includes a copy of each certificate in this report. Each certificate will print on its own page. You can also use this bar on the left to jump to the specific person to view their certificate if necessary. Thanks for the great question. We hope you join us for the next PUPS webinar.